So in section 6, we're going to talk about the closing process. You've made it through the contract negotiations, you've made it through your due diligence period, you've made it through the financing contingency, and now we're in the home stretch. At this point, you're going to turn your focus more to the closing attorney. We are an attorney state here in South Carolina, which means all real estate transactions have to be closed through an attorney. At this point, the attorney might ask you if you want to have a new survey done. They're also going to do a title search. They're also going to set up the title insurance for the property.
And the lender and the attorney are really working side by side after the due diligence period. So it's not a one step then another. They're running simultaneously and they're communicating, because the attorney needs to make sure that they can sell you a free and clear titled house, meaning somebody's not claiming title to it, but the person that's selling you the house actually owns it. And they're going to do a lot of things on your behalf. They are your advocates as well when it comes to the legal purposes. And at any point during this whole entire process, if something tends to go sideways or we have questions, we're going to refer you to the attorney because they're the people that know best.
Right, so we're going to get through all of that, and then comes the closing day. Closing usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half, and it's when you, the buyer, and the seller sit down at the table with the closing attorney. You're going to bring your down payment money, the lender's going to show up with their funds, and the seller's going to show up with their keys. Once the documents are signed and once the funding is in place, then you get the keys and you get the home.
And you're probably asking yourself, when am I going to know how much I have to bring? Well, the lender's going to tell you towards the front of this process an estimated amount. But by law, they have to tell you 3 days from closing the exact penny of what you're going to have to bring. So sometimes those things move and sometimes closings get pushed back. So I'm telling you now, don't make any plans for the day of closing to bring moving trucks or anything, because that will just lead to your frustration. We need to leave a little bit of a window because some things shift and move, and sometimes people get sick and we just got to push it for a day or so. So that's what we're here for, to make sure that everything is as smooth as possible.
So right before closing, you do have the right to do a walkthrough of the property to make sure that there are no new problems that have occurred, or when the seller was moving out, they didn't put any new holes or dings in the wall. And remember, if you negotiated some repair items, you also have the right to have your home inspector re-inspect to make sure that any repairs that you worked out with the seller were done appropriately.